So I want to start this segment by saying that there's only one group of people in this world that believe in God.
Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
If you believe in God, you're a moron, you're an idiot, you're a dumb motherfucker, okay? And America seems to be going in the right direction on this one. So this Axios poll, or I guess it's an Axios article on a Gallup poll, made the rounds on social media. I enjoyed reading this. I don't know, like, I'm going to post a poll in my chat room. I'm sure people are going to troll me. But, like, how many people in my audience right now believe in God? I hope it's 100% atheist. But, like, I don't know. Like, do you believe in God? Like, I don't know. Anyway, if you believe in God, you're a fucking idiot, okay? It's that simple. You're a fucking uncivilized savage. You're no different than the motherfucking Mayans who would sacrifice virgins at the top of the fucking pyramid. You're a psychopath. You're a loser. You're a moron. And honestly, again, you are not free. You are not free if you believe in God. Okay? Especially if you're a Christian or something stupid like fucking that, or if you're fucking Jewish or Muslim or whatever. If that's the kind of God you believe in, you're extra not free. You know, these God people, you know, these fucking God people, man, I'm so sick of this shit. Anyway, let me read this article real quick. Let me show you the big thing. Number of Americans who believe in God has dropped to the lowest level in 78 years. Gallup has asked the question. Per a poll out Friday, 81% of U.S. adults say they believe in God. That's down. 81% is the lowest in U.S. history. 81%. You're telling me 4 in 5 Americans have, like, undiagnosed schizophrenia? Like, are you, like... We live in a shithole world. Now, again, this God thing... Now, a lot of people say that shitting on God is old. Like, you know, it's old. No one likes it anymore. People call me cringy when I do it. But motherfucker, go fuck yourself, man. I've been hating God since I was a 12-year-old. I was praying for God. Praying to God... Please make my mom stop abusing me. And then guess what happened? Nothing! God didn't hear me. God didn't answer me. And I was still getting fucking beaten by my mom every day. So that's when I stopped believing in God. But anyway, that's my personal thing. But again, who told you to believe in God? Like, that's the thing that we really need to talk about here. Who told you to believe in God? Kings and slave owners. That's who told you to believe in God. If you believe in God in the United States of America, you either got that belief from a slave owner or a king. That's it. I thought we fought a revolutionary war in this country to overthrow a king, and yet we have 81% of dumb fuck motherfuckers still going like, yeah, King James, he's a really good guy, he's really smart, really good translation. Like, we fought a war to overthrow a king, and y'all are just like, oh, okay. Yeah, the king was right on this God thing. Like, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, this God thing. And again, let's talk about the slave owners. You know what they would do when they conquered nations, right? When these fucking stupid white people took over Americas, what they did was they enslaved indigenous populations here and in other countries and then shipped them over, right? And what they would do is force them at gunpoint to learn about their stupid fucking God, right? You look at these residential schools, right, that are popping up all over the place. People are reckoning with the history of residential schools in Canada and the United States, right? Thousands of dead children, native, indigenous dead children buried in mass graves. And why? Why were these kids murdered? Because they didn't believe in God hard enough. That's why. So whenever I see these fucking, like, you know, like, again, if you're a white person, you're an idiot. You believe in kings and queens, you're a fucking moron. But if you're not a white person and you're still believing in the white man's God, that's fucking stupid. But you know what? I'm going to be, honestly, again, it's another one. Let's keep going. Like, this idea, everyone wants to have their own version of God. Let's be honest. If you're allowed to just make up your own God, again, this white Jesus bullshit. Jesus isn't white. Motherfucker was like a very, very, very tan at the best case scenario, right? This, like, you just made it up. They just made up their own version of God. And then you've got people that do this black Jesus thing. Like, if God and Jesus are able to be whatever you want them to be, then maybe it's not fucking real. I don't know, man. But a lot of people say, oh, I don't agree with Christianity. I've got my own personal relationship with God. Motherfucker, that's called your internal monologue. That's your brain. That's your brain. That's you. That's called consciousness, motherfucker. God's not talking to you in your fucking head. That's you. That's your body. That's your fucking brain. God, I don't believe in Christianity, but I believe in my new I got my own God. That's called you. That's called your brain. Like, I don't know, man. Like, this fucking shit. This fucking shit, man. 81% of Americans believe in God. And you wonder why this fucking country is fucked up? You wonder why this fucking country is off the rails? Because 81% of Americans believe in literal fairy tales? They believe that there's an invisible man in the sky! There's another poll that I covered a while ago that was like 65% of Americans believe in angels. So there's like a 15% delta. Yeah, I believe in God, but the angels are a little far-fetched. God, definitely real. The flying angels that are watching over me, and every time I come, they're like disappointed slightly. That's a little bit too much. Honestly, you know, you gotta be crazy to believe in angels. The invisible man who flooded the earth 15,000 times and I worship him anyway. That's great. That's awesome. Woohoo! But the angels, like what the fuck? Okay, so again, Americans are fucking stupid. Again, this is the same way that you have like 13% approval rating of Congress, but like what most Americans want in polls is bipartisanship. Like they believe in fairy tales, right? Like these motherfuckers. Oh yes, if we have bipartisan legislation, it must be good, right? Like again, Americans believe in fucking fairy tales. They're fucking stupid. They're fucking stupid. They're dumb. 81%. Jesus fucking Christ. Jesus fucking Christ. Jesus fucking goddamn Christ. Jesus fucking goddamn Christ. Anastasia. Andrea, some people do have a faith or spirituality that connects them to strength. Outside of Christian fascists and theocrats, why is that a problem? There have been writing and tradition. I have no problem with faith or spirituality in things that make sense. Like I consider myself very spiritually connected to the universe and to nature. That doesn't mean I believe in God. Like, believing in God is fucking stupid. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't care what, like, excuse you come up with. I don't care if you're like, oh, I'm a good God believer. I just think it's fucking stupid. Like, there's a difference between believing in God and, like, believing that we are all part of the universe and we're all one with nature and the world. That's fine. I love that shit. I love meditating, doing drugs, and then thinking about, like, fucking, you know, just how my DNA functions and how it's like, you know, we're all like bio whatever. That's all well and good. When you create, that's why I respect Scientology more than I respect any of these other fucking religions. At least they're coming up with some new material. At least they got something going on. They're trying to, like, you know, yeah, our God, yeah, he's like a robot alien super god or something. Like, they're coming up with new ideas. Again, like, anyone who's a Christian, I'm sorry, I don't care if you're a so-called good Christian. I don't care. You're fucking stupid. Because the only reason you're a Christian is because you can't question authority, and a king or a slave owner told you at gunpoint, or one of your ancestors at gunpoint, believe in this God or we kill you. And the gun's not there anymore, and yet you still believe in God. Now again, what is the problem? The problem is belief in God is like, it's a precursor for the idea that you can believe in magical fairy tales. Again, you don't question authority, you don't question the world you live in, you do what you're told like a good little drone. That's why believing in God is stupid. Because it's drone shit. It's sheep. Again, you're a zombie. You have no original thought. That's the thing. Not only do you have original thought, right? But these people, they think their original thought is God talking to them as a way to suppress their own consciousness, as a way to suppress their original thought. They don't want to have original thoughts. They want to go with the flow. They want to be marching in lockstep with the rest of the slaves. Again, this fucking shit, I don't know, man. I get pissed the fuck off at this God shit. I do. I really do. And again, maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe. But every experience I've ever had with a God person has been weird, and it's just been awkward and uncomfortable. Like, even if they're I have a lot of friends that believe in God, and I just choose not to talk about it with them, because what's the fucking point? And they're great people. But every once in a while, they'll, like, go off on this weird, and God's looking out for me thing, and it's like... Right? Like, I just, like, what do I do? Right? Like, what... Yeah, God's looking out for you? Really? Really? Can you look out for me too? Right? Like every once in a while, right? Like you like I'm in this conversation with someone who like I consider a friend, you know, and you know, most of my friends know I'm an atheist because I talk about it all the time, but I try not to get in arguments about it. But like, again, this is my show, so I say my own things. But it's like it's magical thinking. It's believing in hope, but without attaching hope to anything useful. Like, if I want to have faith, I want to have faith in something that's actually going to bring about something positive. Like, for example, I had faith that Bernie Sanders would win in 2020. I tried to help him win the presidential primary. I had faith that he would do so. And guess what? That faith in that led to a much better organizational apparatus than any fucking Christian church. Like something that you can actually like, you know, work toward a goal. That's what faith is for. Faith is believing in yourself and other people around you to attain a goal that would help us all. That's what faith should be. But this God faith is like, I believe in an invisible man at the threat of hell, by the way, because if I don't believe in him, I go to hell. Because this world that we live in is not hell, right? Okay. And so I'm going to give this money to a church. I'm going to give these people power. And what do these churches do? They oppress people. They oppress people. That's what they do. They take your money. They take the power you give them by going into their institution all the time. And they weaponize it against you behind your back. That's what they do. Every single fucking one of them. Because guess what? They're tax exempt. By definition, when you give money to a church, definitionally speaking, they are using it against you because they're not paying taxes. If you buy a hot dog, and again, I don't endorse buying hot dogs, I'm a vegetarian, but if you buy a hot dog, at least there's sales tax. At least the hot dog stand owner has to pay some money to the government, and that money will go back to help you in some way. When you give money to your church, you're flushing it down the toilet. You might as well light that fucking shit on fire. I just can't believe this fucking God stuff. Again, it's to me, it's a sign of being uncivilized. That is what I think. In the same way, and I don't mean uncivilized necessarily to be a bad thing, because there are many people throughout human history that are uncivilized. I consider most of people today uncivilized. I consider people that eat meat uncivilized, personally, right? Like, you're a savage. You haven't evolved with the rest of society. You haven't evolved with science. You haven't evolved with society. You are remaining in some long-forgotten age, right? And again, my problem as well, like with Christian fascists, yes, they are the problem. They are one of the biggest issues in the world. But when you give any cover to Christianity, you're giving cover to Christian fascists. It's the idea like there's a good Republican. Like the idea that the Republican Party can be good, or there can be a good Republican. That in and of itself gives cover to the bad Republicans that want to fucking fuck our countries up. So when you pretend that like, oh, these religious institutions, they're good, it's just that some of them are bad. What you're doing is you're legitimizing the entire institution, and that institution's natural, again, God in the Bible is a fascist ideology by default. By default. It's worship the leader, do everything the leader says, or you go to hell and kill everyone else that disagrees. That's what all these religions say. So when you stupid motherfuckers go out there and go like, oh, my God, I cut that part out. Well, then you're not a Christian. If you don't read the Bible, if you read the Bible and say, oh, these parts, little outdated, I don't believe in that, then why do you believe in any other part of the book? You're not a Christian, right? But instead of just saying, oh, I have my own personal relationship with my own version of God, that's fine. That's one thing, right? But they still call themselves Christians. Why? Like, why are there like 38,000 different branches of the Christian church? You have Catholicism, Baptism, fucking, what's the other ones? Protestantism? I don't know what the fuck. Like, what? Only one of these is allowed to be correct. And then when you look at like Judaism versus Christianity versus Islam, only one of these is allowed to be correct. And then when you look at all of human history, what is the number one way that you can convince people to kill one another? God. Oh, this guy believes in the wrong God? Kill him. Oh, this guy believes in the same God, but only believes in 9 of the 10 commandments. They like shellfish. They love shellfish. What can you do? You know, it's like those motherfuckers. Man, I just love chicken nuggets. I just love them. How is that possible? Like, you know, that's the thing with this God bullshit. People are, oh, 10 commandments, 10 commandments. Motherfucker, let me see the tag on the t-shirt you're wearing right now. 10 commandments, my fucking asshole. I just hate this God shit because it legitimizes a way of thinking that is only detrimental. Anyone that legitimizes any religion in that kind of way, especially an organized religion, you're opening the door to magical thinking, and magical thinking is what gets us all killed. Magical thinking, like, if we just hope the pandemic ends and do nothing about it, it'll all go away. That's magical thinking. You have faith in magic. It's made up. It's bullshit, right? In order to make the pandemic go away, you need to stay home. You need to wear a mask. You need to get vaccinated. That's how you make the pandemic go away. You can't just hope for the best. That doesn't work. That's like, oh, I'm going to drive through this traffic light and just hope I don't get hit. That's not how the world works, right? And so again, I have no patience for God people. I really don't. And maybe that's my upbringing. Maybe that's because I've been burned by God people so many times. Maybe that's because I'm a filthy fucking queer. I don't know. But like, Jesus Christ, man, 81% of US adults, 4 out of 5 Americans believe in Santa Claus? That's insane. That's insane. That's fucking insane. These people are insane. They're all fucking stupid. And again, you wonder why our country is off the rails. It's because people are allowed and enabled to believe in fairy tales and magical bullshit. Shit that they just made up. They just made it the fuck up. And again, the only reason why you believe in God is either 1, because of a slave owner forcing your ancestor, or 2, because a king told you to. That's it. That's it. That's the only reason. There is no other reason why you would be a Christian. There is no other reason why you would be any form of religion, unless, especially an organized religion. If you make up your own thing, that's fine. I have respect for people that purely make up their own stuff. They don't just like take Christianity and go like, oh, I'm gonna wear mixed fabric, so I'll cut that part out. Oh, I'm gonna fuck the neighbor's wife, I'm gonna cut that part out. Like, that is not, come up with your own shit. Like, that's why I respect Scientology. At least they come up with something new. Mormonism, you know, okay, at least they're having a 3rd book. It's DLC, right? Like, you know, something. I respect Mormons more than I respect any other form of Christian, right? At least they're coming up with something new. Now, again, they're basing it all on the old shit. It's fucking stupid. But at least that, you know, their minds are working out. That's why I don't mind, like, these, like, weird UFO cults. I don't mind, like, ancient aliens conspiracy people. Because at least they're thinking. At least they're using some form of the scientific process. Right? And they're just like, oh, well, these things are unsolved mysteries, so let's attach some sort of religious angle to it. Okay, I'm fine with that. You know what I mean? But these motherfucking, like, Christian people, the only reason you'd be a Christian is because of a slave owner or a king. That's it. And that makes you a fucking drone. That makes it so you're not free. If you believe in a Christian God, you are not free. You are not a thinking person. You are not a critical person. You are a drone marching in lockstep with what a slave owner or a king wanted you to do. That's it. That's it. Anyway, 62% of liberals, 68% of young adults, and 72% of Democrats say believe in God. 62% of liberals and 68% of young adults. That's still crazy. 7 out of 10 young adults, people my age, are like, yeah, I believe in God. Like, this is my thing. Again, question everything. Question everything. Ask yourself why you do everything. Take a day. Don't, like, take a day off. Do a day, one of these days. Maybe do it today or tomorrow, where you wake up, right? You write something down, remind yourself, wake up, and just do your normal routine. Don't change anything. But every time you do something, ask yourself, why am I doing this? Right? When you wake up and you make your coffee, ask yourself, why am I drinking coffee? Well, I want caffeine so that I can be more productive at work. Right? When you get in your car or whatever the fuck mode of transport you use for the day, ask yourself, why? Why are you using a car? Are there better alternatives? Like, maybe I could get something that works. You know, ask yourself why. When you fucking think about God, ask yourself, why do you believe in God? Ask yourself why. When you make yourself food, when you buy your food, when you go to the grocery store and you're getting your normal routine, what you normally get all the time, every time you add something to your cart, ask yourself why. Why am I adding this beef product to my cart? Is it because I want to kill myself? Is it because I'm a drug addict? Because those are the only answers that you can come up with. Ask yourself why you do everything. You need to be present. You need to be aware. I believe personally that most people in this country are zombies. I do. I really do. But I believe any zombie in this country can actually wake up and not be a zombie. I think people can arrive at higher levels of conscious thought simply by just, again, asking themselves why they believe the things that they do. What are the core tenets of your identity? Because if religion is a core tenet of your identity, you have no identity. You are not a real person. It's just that simple. It's just that fucking simple. If a core tenet of your identity is what some king or slave owner forced your ancestors at gunpoint to believe, then Jesus fucking Christ. Even in your own head, you are a slave. Even in your own head, you are not free. When you go to bed, whenever you go to bed, whatever your bedtime is, whatever, ask yourself, why am I going to bed at this time? Ask yourself, when you watch television and you scroll through the whatever, ask yourself why ask yourself why you're watching the show. You should have a reason for everything that you do. Because if you don't, you're on autopilot. You're like motherfucking Adam Sandler and Click, just scrolling forward, fast forwarding through their whole fucking life. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. You don't care. That's my opinion. Ask yourself why you do everything. When you buy food, when you make food, whatever you're doing, when you call up your friend, when you watch a YouTube video. And think about this with social media algorithms. Social media algorithms are a new form of God and a new form of control. When you watch a video on YouTube, ask yourself why. If it pops up in the recommended feed and you've never heard of this thing before, right? Ask yourself, why would you click on that? When you go on Twitter.com and you're starting to fight with random people online, ask yourself, why? Why am I fighting with this person? What am I hoping to do? When you go into a Discord server and yell at one another over and over again over stupid fucking garbage, ask yourself, why am I yelling at people over and over stupid fucking garbage? Is it that do you want to change their mind? Do you believe that that's going to happen? Do you want to argue with them so that you train your own argument skills, like your debate skills, right? Are you testing yourself when you argue with someone online? Is it entertainment? Are you killing time? Why do you do everything you do? That's the main thing that I want to ask people. Because people that believe in God, they never ask themselves these questions. Or if they do, they'll wrap it around this stupid God bullshit. Again, the only reason you believe in God is because a slave owner or a king told you to. And let's be honest, what are kings? Slave owners, right? That's just on a master scale, right? So, I don't know, man. Yeah, I resent God, and I resent anyone that believes in God. I'm sorry. If that offends you, ask yourself, why does it offend you? If you're so sure that God is real and I'm going to hell, it shouldn't offend you. But also, ask yourself why you think I would go to hell. Ask yourself that question. Ask yourself, why do you believe in hell? Ask yourself, why do you believe in God? Who told you these things? Why do you speak English? I speak English. Why? Because a fucking king took over a whole fucking country, right? And then those stupid motherfuckers revolted against that king, kept the language, right? And then started controlling the world, and then had a fucking advancement in industry, and then that caused mass immigration from Europe, which is where my ancestors came from, into this country, because they wanted to catch a break, because Europe was still a lot more fucked up at the time. So that's why I speak English. Would I prefer to speak another language? A language with more options, a language with better words, better grammar, better vocabulary? Absolutely. And maybe one day I'll learn another language. But ask yourself why for everything. So anyway, I don't believe in God. I think anyone that believes in God is stupid. And I genuinely, I mean that with all due respect. Because when I say someone is stupid, that doesn't mean I'm writing them off, like just throwing them in the garbage can, hit the delete button, they're over, blocked forever. If someone is stupid, it's temporary insanity. They can always be less stupid. You can always read a book and gain new insight. You can always learn more about your world, your situation, and everything around you. I do every day. Every day I try to learn something new. Every day I like to ask myself why I do certain things, and what that leads me to do is to optimize my behavior. So, don't fall into autopilot. Don't fall into this God bullshit. 81% of US adults still believe in this fucking garbage. Holy fucking shit. Holy fucking shit. Holy goddamn motherfucking shit.